All right, let's talk about opening your pool for the summer. For most people, it's a chore, right? Something you just got to get through. But what if I told you it's actually more like a high-stakes mission, where one wrong move could cost you a fortune? We're about to walk through a pro's guide to make sure you get it right every single time.
And when I say high stakes, I am not kidding. Look at this number, $10,000. No, that's not the value of the pool. That's the potential cost of a single, and you know what, surprisingly common mistake people make on opening day.
And this is exactly how fast things can go wrong. A simple error in judgment and you're looking at major overflows, catastrophic equipment damage. I mean, it's a mess. And the crazy part? That's just one of several massive financial disasters we're going to help you sidestep today.
Here's the key thing to understand. Most DIY pool openings don't fail because of a lack of effort. No. They fail because of the sequence. It's all about doing the right things in the wrong order. That's where the real danger is hiding. So where's this information coming from? We're pulling it directly from Nassim Karmout, a certified pool operator. And what he says is really interesting. The absolute costliest mistakes, they all happen in phase 1, right at the beginning, before most of us even think the important work has started.
So let's be clear about who we're listening to. This isn't some guy on a forum. We're talking about a pro with over 15 years in the trenches, opening more than 200 pools a year. He's seen every single way an opening can go wrong. And because of that, he built a bulletproof system to make sure they always go right.
And that system is this simple, field-tested, 3-phase protocol. The secret isn't some magic chemical or an expensive tool. Nope, the secret is the sequence. It's all about what you do first, what you do second, and what you do third. Get that order right and you're golden.
And look, this isn't just a theory from a textbook. This is the actual laminated checklist he uses out in the field. It's a battle-tested system designed for the real world. You can even see the wear and tear on it. This is the real deal, folks. So here's the roadmap. Super simple. Phase 1 is all about assessment and assembly. Phase 2 is filtration and balancing. And finally, Phase 3 is sanitize and go live. We're going to break down exactly why this specific order is so critical.
Okay, let's dive into Phase 1. Seriously, pay attention here because this is the most important phase of them all. Think of it like a pre-flight check for an airplane. You are a detective, and your job is to look for any potential problems before you even think about flipping a single switch.
The entire point of phase 1 is to diagnose before you act. You want to find and fix that small leaky fitting before you turn the pump on and pressurize the whole system, because that's when a small leak can become a massive, expensive gusher.
Okay, if you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, make it this. This is the single most important sequence in the entire opening process. Assemble first, then remove plugs, then prime, then start the system. This specific order, and only this order, prevents a catastrophic pressure buildup. Get this right, and you've already dodged a huge bullet.
Because if you get it wrong, well, you're looking at this disaster. Firing up the pump with the winter plug still in the lines is like plugging the end of a fire hose. The water has nowhere to go, so the pressure builds and builds until something gives. And that something is usually your $900 filter tank, your $1,200 pump, or a plumbing line that floods your entire equipment pad. It's a $2,000 plus mistake from a simple sequencing error.
And this right here shows you the power of the protocol. By following these steps in the exact order he lays out, you literally make this mistake impossible to commit. The sequence becomes your safety net. It's brilliant.
So, once the most dangerous part is behind us and all the equipment is running safely, now we can move on to the chemistry. Phases 2 and 3 are where you make the water pretty and safe. But here's the thing, they only work because of the solid, safe foundation you just built in Phase 1.
And guess what? Just like with the equipment, there's a non-negotiable sequence for the chemicals. You always adjust total alkalinity first. Then you adjust the pH. After that, calcium. And only when all of that is done do you add your sanitizer, like chlorine.
You have to understand the why behind this. Think of total alkalinity, or TA, as the anchor that holds your pH steady. If you try to adjust your pH while your TA is all out of whack, you're basically just throwing money into the water. The pH will just bounce all over the place. You have to fix the foundation, the buffer, before you can adjust the pH level itself.
So why does that pH matter so much? This chart says it all. If you dump a bag of shock into a pool with a high pH, say 8.2, that chlorine is only about 25% effective. You are literally throwing 75 cents of every dollar away. But get that pH down into the sweet spot, and that same chlorine is suddenly 90% effective. Balancing first saves you a ton of money and actually keeps your pool clean. And this is where it all comes together, the payoff. Following the chemical sequence in Phase 2 stops you from wasting about $150 on shock that isn't even working. And then following the final checks in Phase 3, specifically making sure that water is balanced before you fire up the heater, prevents you from corroding its delicate insides. That's a mistake that could easily cost you $6,000 for a new heater. Now, if we zoom out for a second, you can see this is about way more than just a one-day opening. This is about a fundamental shift in how you think about your pool for the entire season. And this is the core philosophy right here. Servicing is reactive. It's just fixing this week's problem. Management, on the other hand, is proactive. It's about setting things up so that next week doesn't even have a problem to begin with. See, the opening protocol we just walked through isn't just a one-off trick. It's the first step in a complete year-round system. It's about opening your pool the right way, running it efficiently all summer, keeping it safe, and then closing it properly in the fall. It's a full management cycle.
And that really leaves us with a final question for you to think about. Right now, is your approach just about fixing problems as they pop up? Or are you proactively managing your pool to prevent those problems from ever happening in the first place? Because the difference between those two mindsets, well, that's the difference between a summer of stress and a summer of swimming.